What are Salesforce triannual releases? Salesforce triannual releases are significant updates rolled out 3 times a year, usually in spring, summer, and winter. These releases introduce new features, improvements, and bug fixes across various Salesforce products and platforms. Understanding these releases is crucial for Salesforce users, administrators, and developers to leverage new capabilities and ensure smooth operation. So let's get right into it. Timing and naming. Spring release usually occurs in February or March. Summer release typically in June or July. Winter release generally in October or November. And, each release is named after the year and season. So, for example, winter 2023, winter 2024. Release notes. Detailed release notes are provided by Salesforce, outlining new features and changes. They are available online and are often quite extensive. Pre-release orgs. Salesforce offers pre-release orgs, allowing users to test new features before the official rollout. Sandbox preview. Sandboxes can be upgraded to preview the next release features, providing a testing environment for existing configurations and customizations. Release windows. The actual deployment of updates occurs over several weekends with different instances updated at different times. So I'm going to show you, for example, if you were to look at release notes, you can just Google that, for instance, and it should typically come up with, one or another Salesforce release. In this case, if you do that, you'll see Salesforce Winter 24 release notes. You click on it, and Salesforce gives you a ton of resources. What's going to be in the release notes, how to use the release notes, what features are coming through. So you can kind of look at this navigation and kind of drill down into the types of changes that are coming in. So it's very helpful to be mindful of these release schedules that are coming up. Another website that Salesforce makes available is called the Trust site. So if you go there, and the URL, and I'm going to start this from scratch to show you. Typically when you go to the status.salesforce.com, you do have the capability to put in, an instance name or a domain name here, and it'll give you more information on it. So to show you, I'm going to quickly log into my Salesforce instance. And once I'm logged in, I'm going to do a search for domain, and under my domain, it should show you basically, right, like what your exact domain name is. And of course, you can always get that from the URL also, but, to keep things simple, if you wanted to see, you could see your domain name up here. You could always copy this, go to the Trust site, put that there, and now it pulls up your domain, basically the instance that Salesforce has made available for you, right? Like what are the overall services. It also shows you the history of availability and features, and it also shows you a maintenance tab, which it's going to show you, for example, what's been done in the past days, what's upcoming, what type of release. So it basically shows you, right, like the the spring 24 release, which is going to be a major release, when it's going to happen on this particular instance. So again, very useful information. You are encouraged to subscribe, for your instance. And in that case, it also gives you, of course, what your existing, what version or what is the current release, what type of patch has been applied to it, and what's upcoming. So again, very useful sites. The Salesforce release notes and the Trust site should tell you really when things are going to happen on your release in terms of updates by Salesforce. So that being said, there's some key aspects for new users, right? So here you have understanding the environment. Salesforce releases impact all environments, including production, sandbox, and developer orgs. It's vital to understand how changes might affect your current setup. Feature rollout. Some features are automatically enabled, while others may require manual activation. Training and documentation. Salesforce provides various resources, including webinars, videos, and documentation to help users understand and adapt to new features. Community and support. The Salesforce community, including forums and discussion groups, can be invaluable for getting insights and tips about new releases. So that being said, there's some best practices, for example, that we need to account for. When it comes to triannual releases. So, staying informed, regularly revise release notes and stay updated with Salesforce announcements. Testing in a sandbox. Always test new features and changes in a sandbox environment before applying them to your production org. Planning for adoption. Plan how you will roll out new features to your team, including training and documentation. Feedback to Salesforce. Provide feedback on features and functionality, as Salesforce often incorporates user feedback into future releases. Again, this is important because, whether you like something or not like something, giving that feedback loop to Salesforce, they're usually very receptive to folks bringing them feedback and things into future releases. So please keep that in mind. Backing up data, regularly back up your data and metadata, although Salesforce updates are generally safe. They're generally safe, but once in a while, right? Like something happens, this is software, there may be something that's broken. And of course, they're going to quickly fix it. But, you want to be mindful of backing up so that if something happens, that you do have a backup plan, essentially. So with the best practices, there's also some gotchas that you have to be mindful of. So the gotchas that I can think of are basically, auto feature activation. Be aware of features that are automatically activated and understand their impact. Deprecated features, some releases may deprecate older features. Some stuff may go away or some stuff may not even apply anymore. So testing is key. Be prepared to adjust your processes and customizations. Testing custom code. Custom code and integrations should be thoroughly tested with each new release to ensure compatibility. Release timing. The timing of releases may not align with your organization's schedule, so plan accordingly, right? Like you, as an organization, you may have a release cadence that's already in place. You've promised features and updates to your end users, but then here's Salesforce with its triannual that is going to happen every year, 3 times a year. So how it all meshes in, how it plays with each other, that's something that you're going to have to plan accordingly and have your timing, account for that. Limits and quotas, right? Like, with Salesforce being a shared platform, right? Like some new release features, they may adjust the limits, they may say that, hey, XYZ limit needs to be changed or things like that. Now, this doesn't happen that often, but again, it does happen, right? So making sure that you're within those limits and quotas is going to be crucial for good success. That being said, the key thing here is that preparation is the key to success. So making sure, right, like these releases are going to happen, they're going to have to happen 3 times a year. The earlier you can run through the feature set, test it out in lower environments, again, going through some of those best practices that I listed before, I think that's going to be the key to success. So prepare and account for these Salesforce releases earlier. That being said, Salesforce triannual releases are a core aspect of the platform's evolution, offering new features and improvements. Staying informed, testing extensively, and planning for adoption are key to making the most of these updates.